Does it feel like you're constantly battling your child over screens? Because you literally are, but not in the way that you think. What you're fighting isn't just a habit, it's a brain state. So many kids today are stuck in what is called a dopamine deficit state, where their brains are just overstimulated by high pleasure activities that normal life just stops feeling interesting, motivating, or rewarding. It's not because they're lazy or defiant. It's because their motivation system is out of balance. In this episode, I'm gonna break down what's happening inside your child's brain, why this dopamine deficit state develops, and what are the practical steps that can help you restore the balance of their dopamine system so they can get back to feeling motivated, calm, and engaged in the real world. I'm Efrat Amira. I'm a mom of 3 boys, ages 11, 7, and 4. I'm a parenting coach, and I love integrating the tools that I've learned from my own personal and spiritual journey into the way that I raise my kids, and that is what I love to share with you. So if you like this type of content, please hit the like button so other parents can find it as well. Now let's dive in. Many kids and adults today suffer from a dopamine deficit state. A dopamine deficit state refers to a condition, temporary or chronic, where your brain's dopamine system is underactive or depleted. This state makes it hard for kids to go out to the world, explore, grow, learn, do hard things, do the things that will actually help them grow into who they're supposed to become in this world and become the independent people that we want them to be. It also makes it hard for us parents because we're dealing with a child whose brain is hijacked. I want to take a minute and dive deeper to understanding what dopamine is and how it works inside our brain. So dopamine is a neurotransmitter. It's the brain chemical that helps regulate motivation, pleasure, focus, movement, and drive. It's not just about feeling good. It's about our motivation system. It's about getting us to want to do things. It's the energy that moves us to do something, pursue a goal, or look forward to a reward. A dopamine deficit state happens when our dopamine levels drop under their normal level. This can happen for a few reasons. Either there is less dopamine being released, the receptors are desensitized or overstimulated, or the reward system is dysregulated due to stress, overstimulation, or addictive behavior. When this happens, our brains feel flat, unmotivated, and emotionally numb. You can think of it as the crash that follows overstimulation or chronic state. Some common contributors can be constant high dopamine stimulation. So for our kids, it can be scrolling, gaming, social media, junk food. When our kids are involved in those constant high dopamine activities, then the brain gets flooded with dopamine, so it down-regulates receptors in order to protect itself. Another reason can be because there is chronic stress or burnout. In this situation, we have cortisol, the stress hormone, being released, which interferes with the dopamine production itself. A third reason can be lack of restorative habits, poor sleep, no exercise, no meaningful social interaction or creative engagement. Another reason can be substance or behavioral addiction, anything that repeatedly hijacks the reward system. I'm gonna name some of the symptoms of dopamine deficit state. Let me know if this sounds familiar and you see it in your kids. Low motivation and drive, inability to feel pleasure or excitement, brain fog and difficulty to focus, fatigue or lack of energy, craving constant stimulation, mood swings, or mild depression. It's like your brain's motivation battery has run down. Recovering our dopamine balance is not about cutting all the high dopamine, high pleasure activities. It's about rebalancing the stimulation and the reward. So in order to restore the dopamine balance, we need to reduce the overstimulation. We don't want to completely cut off all the high pleasure activities that we do, but we do want to limit them. We want to limit the high dopamine hits that our brain is getting throughout the day from endless scrolling, junk food, or any constant novelty that we are exposed to. The second way to restore the dopamine balance is to reintroduce the natural dopamine sources. So what are natural dopamine sources? Movement, music, social connections and interactions, creativity, doing meaningful work. The third way is to practice stillness and boredom. We have to let our kids have the opportunity to experience just being in the world without being stimulated from the outside. Just experiencing the wonder of nature, of the colors, of smells, of food, of sunlight, just experiencing the subtle, beautiful things that we have in our life that gets our brain to a state that is much more open and calm and receptive to what is actually truly beautiful in the world. The fourth way of restoring dopamine balance is by getting consistent sleep and sunlight. Both sleep and sunlight directly impact the dopamine production. So we have to make sure our kids are sleeping well and that they are getting outside and getting exposed to the sun as much as possible, especially during the winter. The fifth way is to build habits that give slow, steady satisfaction. Instead of those quick highs and high dopamine activities that many kids are involved in today, we want to get them into doing activities that are much more slow and steady, like exercising, journaling, building something, doing something that is much more calm and relaxed. And in addition, we don't have good restorative practices. We end up feeling tired, unmotivated, depleted, bored, and moody. And the paradox is when we get to that place when we are tired, unmotivated, and moody, we seek those high pleasure, high dopamine activities in order to feel better again, but that feeling better is just temporary. So the question is, how do we get our kids out of that cycle? If you have younger kids, and you mostly can control their activity throughout the day, limit their screen time. Make sure they play freely as much as possible. Make sure they're going outside. And when they are exposed to screens, make sure that the content that they're watching is not fast-paced with constant novelty, frequent rewards, coins, flashy animations, all those things that really spike up their dopamine. For older kids who have much more independence and you don't have as much control over, set ground rules, set limitations on their screen use, and set limitations on the apps and the games that they use. I know this isn't easy and it's gonna be much harder to do with older kids. The thing is that if you keep at it for 3 days, after 3 days, their dopamine levels will start to balance and they will be much less resistant to these changes. And then you can start introducing activities that are harder in the beginning, but after about 20 minutes, the natural dopamine is gonna start to release and they will start to feel the reward. So what are some of those activities that you can guide them to do? Read a book, play outside, work on a craft, build something, clean up the room, declutter. These are all activities that they may refuse to do in the beginning, but after they keep at it for a little while, the reward system is gonna turn on and they're gonna start to feel good about what they're doing. This is not about getting them completely off screens, apps, or social media. That is part of childhood today, and I don't think that we can do much about it. But the thing is that it has to be balanced with real life experiences. Because as I said it before, if they're always in that state in their brain where they're constantly looking for those high pleasure activities, they won't have the capacity to actually develop the skills that they need in order to grow into being independent and capable people in this world. And once their dopamine levels are more balanced, they will start to enjoy the more slower, more meaningful activities, and they will begin to feel different. They will be easier to parent. It will be easier to communicate with them. They will be more open to learning. They will be more open to trying new things, developing new interests, and learning about themselves and the world. We are teaching them a very important life lesson when we are giving them that gift. We are teaching them that doing hard things and experiencing the discomfort that comes with it is what leads to long-lasting rewards and meaning. You know, people who don't work hard in their lives end up having hard lives. But people who work hard in their lives end up having meaningful, satisfying, and rewarding lives. Now, like everything, this can't be only a motto that you're trying to put on to your kids. It has to be something that you live by as a parent as well. You have to model to your kids what it means to do hard things, overcome challenges, and feel the reward that comes in as a result of that. It all has to be in the framework of your values as a family. As a family, we like to deal with challenges. As a family, we grow by doing hard things. If you haven't already mapped out your family values, I invite you to do an exercise of finding out what your family values are. You can find that at efratamira.com/values. Let me know in the comments below what is one high pleasure, high dopamine activities that you can start guiding your kids away from today.